Yo, no maniacs. Welcome to the show. This is Nomad Live, all bears all the time, in conjunction with the Superback and Sport Zone Chicago. Welcome to the show, guys, man. It was seemed like it's been a long time, man. We were just here on Sunday. But guess what? In the time that we were taking to come on the show, this happened. Caleb Williams signs a 4-year, fully guaranteed $39 million deal. And I think the details are, $25 million or so in guarantees for him. Hell of a deal. That happened right before we went live. So it took me a minute. I had to go screenshot it and come back and do all of that. And while that was going on, right before that, this happened. Right when I was in the show chatting with Aldo and Greg on Greg Gabriel's show, man. So also Odunze agrees to terms, 9th pick on a $22.7 million deal with 13 of it guaranteed, and he's got a 5th-year option in that deal. So, man, it was a lot of anxiety around all of this stuff, guys, and there's a lot of talk, and people were starting to get worried because we got up to kind of like the deadline before, it was time for these guys to get to camp, which they are in camp. The rookies are here. They were to arrive at least minimum by 4:30 today, I believe. But I would expect that, pretty much everybody's in the building by now. And so, so that's what's going on, Mr. Brian. So how you feel? You want to give out some pleasantries before we get cooking?
Sure. Hey, no maniacs. Hello, Patty. Hello, Junior. Hello, AC Adam. Hello, Aunt Mass. Hello, Robert Lee. Oh, hello, Mr. Mayhem. Hello, Juke you out of the dub. Kids, I said hi to you earlier. Smitty, how you doing? Welcome. Florida Bears fans. FFG. Man, I'm almost ready to go hoarse now. Dobsy 34. Hey, guys. Should be a great show. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you. Take it away, Superback.
Sports owners and no maniacs unite. Man, good to be with you. Saw all those things come across the wire just before we came on. Great stuff. I wasn't worried. I knew. I figured they would sign. All right, and guys, make sure you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Follow our YouTube channel. All right, it's free. So you don't have to, it's not a monthly subscription. Just it's $3.99. I'd appreciate it. I thought they might wait till Hard Knocks, but I understood. But I was misinformed. I found out yesterday or 2 days ago that they can't even be in the building for training camp unless they're signed. So I figured once I found that out, I'm like, they'll probably sign the day they have to report. They'll just get there early, sign. Yeah, and exactly what happened. So we're excited to talk about it. Everybody's in the fold, and now, man, it's going to be really, really, really exciting to see how this plays out all year long. Keds?
Yeah, well-timed Caleb Williams, well-timed Odunze. Both of those signings happened just before we go live on Nomad Live on a Tuesday. That's just awesome, right? That's great news for us. I know a lot of folks out there were a little bit worried, especially on Sunday, this past Nomad at Night Sunday show. There was a fair amount of questions just trying to figure out what the heck's going on with those signings. And we did our best to ignore it. And why we did was because, honestly, those dollars and cents, the numbers are more or less already locked into stone. There's not much they can do by way of negotiating around it, including, one of the things I came to find out relatively recently, including using a non-registered lawyer as an agent. So there's some interesting stuff there just in and around the whole idea of them holding out or trying to renegotiate the existing NFLPA agreement that's in place. So all those things being said, I wasn't really worried. I figured they'd show up today, get things signed. I was hoping it was just as Sean said, right? Just as you were saying there, Superback, I was hoping it was maybe a Hard Knocks special. You know what I mean? It's rookie signings, Hard Knocks special. That's really what I thought they were trying to pull off, but apparently not necessarily the case. Even then, don't don't be surprised if there's some level of footage on Hard Knocks with respect to these two signings. In any event, I'm happy. I'm stoked. We got our rookies all taken care of. This team's looking better and better as the time goes by, and we're getting that much closer to the season. So, bear TF down. And with that being said, keep your eyes peeled and ears open, y'all. Superflex Fantasy Football League and podcast coming at you sooner than you think. Details to follow. Nomad, what do you got to say, brother?
Good stuff, Sean. That was news to me when you said that you didn't know. I didn't know that the guys couldn't get to the rookie, couldn't come to the building until they were signed. That's news to me. So everything makes a whole lot more sense now. And for everybody that's just joining the show, let me put this stuff back up. Odunze has signed a 4-year guaranteed contract for $22 million, $13 million sign-in guaranteed for him, and also Caleb has just signed let me get that other comment off the screen here. Let me see here. There we go. Caleb has signed a 4-year, $39 million contract with $25 million guaranteed. Boy, that dude's got some money.
It's fully guaranteed. 25 is the bonus. That's the signing bonus. So he's going to get 25.5. He probably just got it as soon as he signed it. But the whole 39 million is guaranteed. So if he goes out and breaks his leg, he still gets all 39 mil if anything happens. So yeah, he got 25.5 as soon as he put ink to paper.
That's a wild amount of money. Let's just talk about it right quick, man, because with that NIL deal stuff that's going on, Sean, it's like the terrain is a little bit different, especially for these young guys coming into the league now. Caleb being a prime example of that, probably made well over $10 million in NIL. So, they're not coming to the negotiating table, with lint in their pockets. You know what I mean? They're coming to the table like, hey, man, look.
All right, Eric B.
hey, he says, I know what I'm worth, man. You can't play me like that, man. So you got to do better than that. You got to put some money on the table.
But for that, Nomad, though, I mean, there's nothing he can go. The dollar amount that he was going to make is set. That's not negotiable. The years are set. That's not negotiable. The only thing that was negotiable was how much he's getting up front. That's the only thing that was it. Like you know what I mean? So it's like, and plus $25 million is a hell of a lot more than 10. I don't know. I know he might have had $8-10 million in college, but man, 25. Someone gives you $10 or someone offers you 20, which 25, what you gonna take? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm wondering what the thing was, why it was so lengthy, but again, it could have just been the drama, right? And just made it. Truthfully, I would not be surprised if that's the main reason. They might have had this done a couple weeks ago, and just said, "Hey, let's sit on it," and blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? I just have that feeling because the NFL loves drama.
Yeah,
the NFL loves a storyline, and what better storyline than we can't get the number 1 overall pick? Oh my God, this is the number 1 prospect in the last 20 years. Oh my God, he's not signed. What are you going to do? And it gives people topics to talk about on sports radio, on the news, on everything. So I really wouldn't be surprised if this deal was already done and they just waited till today.
I've got an even better storyline, and it revolves around a rookie quarterback going to the playoffs and winning the Super Bowl against the Bears' rival, playing for the New Jersey Jets. That's what I think the best storyline of football is going to be this year. Let's get there, y'all. Let's do this.
Tell them that he doesn't own them anymore.
That's what I want. I want him to deliver the eviction notice in person at the Super Bowl. That's my expectation this season. I think that's the greatest storyline of them all. Boom, 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 boom. Bear Truth 9. He's with it. Yo, what a do, Bear Truth.
Yo, hey, I'm. You know what I am? I'm very satisfied that part of his life is done. Both of those guys, that part of their lives are done. You can focus on football. You ain't got none of that extra stuff going on, man, because they really need it. Sean and Brian, listen. I was talking in Greg and all those chat, and Greg he knew kind of some details about how practices goes, how many times they get to actually lay pads on each other, and it's more or less 13 times. I don't know what the NFLPA is doing. I know they're focused on safety, but me as a player, man, I look at only 13 times I get to knock people around or people get to knock me around. I don't see that, Sean, as nearly enough, man. What do you think about that?
It's not enough, but I mean, but again, back when we played, it wasn't. Here we go, and long, but the salaries weren't this crazy, right? The salaries weren't this crazy, and when you're dealing with rookie quarterbacks, because all you need is an offensive lineman to get trucked and stumble back, and there goes an ACL, and boom, now your star, $50, $80, $100 million. Well, now it's $200, $300 million quarterback, $400 million quarterback is out. You know what I mean? So I understand it from their point of view because they're protecting their investment, their commodity. But as a player, man, you need to feel those bumps and bruises and those hits and get live bullets to a certain extent. But man, that's definitely not enough time to get ready for the season. And I hope, and I don't know if I said it on the show last week, but I think I did. But I said it on my show last week, and I'll say it again today and tomorrow. Man, they better play at least a half in most of these games. The three of the 4 games that they play, at least a half. That first half, give me that first half, I'm good because you need 5 bullets coming your way. You can't just play a quarter and a half and like, okay, we're done. No. I think he's got to be Caleb and the whole offense. First team offense has got to be in there for at least the first half. So them 13 practices, they damn near, even with mixed with teams practicing against other teams, the joint practices still not enough. So
Brian, I'm gonna hand it to you with this one because 13 practices. The good thing is, the rest of the league is dealing under the same structure. So we ain't hitting enough, they ain't hitting enough. We've got that going for us. But by the way, people, we don't have a hell of a lot of topics to talk about today. We're going to generally just chop it up with you guys and get some feedback going back and forth and make this real interactive with everybody. We'll answer some questions and things like that. But here's one already by Levante. Sorry about that, Brian. We'll still get to that statement. There will be another move. Will it be for an edge rusher or center? We'll save that. We'll save that answer. But Brian, everybody is dealing with the 13 hit practices, and that's the one thing we have going for us. So it's not enough, but the rest of the league is dealing under the same circumstance.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's the same for everybody. The one advantage that Chicago and Houston have is the Hall of Fame game. But by the same token, I mean, the NFL is constantly trying to make it safer. The 2 new rules with the kickoff and the no hip tackle drag or whatever it is. And also by the same token, they have added an extra game to the schedule. So, I mean, they're trying to take precautions, but at the same time, be entertaining and profitable. I can remember, back in the 80s, they was having 2 practices a day.
2 days, yeah. Up in Platteville.
Yeah, and you was lucky if you got water. I mean, the players. So, I mean,
I don't know if it was that bad, Brian, but I get your point.
What you listen to Thayer, and if it wasn't raining, you didn't get a drink. But I mean, anyway, you kind of see what Sean said just a little bit ago. The price tag of all these. I mean, they are property of the Bears, and you want to protect your investment, but it's football at the same time. Injuries are going to happen. Hopefully, they can dial in on film room. I don't know what the way around it, because of the less practices. Good luck, is all I can say. I'm glad there's a Hall of Fame game.
What say you, Canuck?
Hey man, more live reps, the better. That's really what I'm kind of with Sean on this. That's really what I want to see. I want to see them up against and I was explaining this to my son the other day. He's headed off to college to play football, and it has a lot to do with practicing against folks you're not familiar with, right? You're going to get familiar with the guys on your team, iron sharpens iron and all that. But at some point, the guy across from you is going to go, all right, like, I know what's up. You know, I know what moves are in your tool bag, and I'm at this point prepared to manage and deal with them, and vice versa. You will also feel the same way about that guy across from you. So now you want different looks. You want to look, you know, what do I look like against, you know, a top left tackle? What do I look like against, again, whoever it is that you're opposing, without them having the knowledge of what's in my tool bag and what I'm all about? They might have seen some film, they might have an idea of what I'm about, but face-to-face live reps is always a different thing. So I'm for it, man. I want them to get as much. I want them to play Caleb as much as they can in those games and really allow him to get a feel for what his, you know, what this level is all about, because you know, it can be a rude awakening to some people.
Let me answer. Let me see if I can answer this question. It's FFG style says, "Hey, Nomad, why did the Bears start training camp at the same time as fourth of the league if they have to play 10 days earlier than everybody but Houston?" I'm not sure. Not sure really how to answer that, to be honest with you. Let me see. They started.
Wow.
They start today is the what, 16th? The game is on the 31st. I think they will actually be doing some physical stuff come Saturday at the earliest. I think they'll be doing some stuff come Saturday. I don't know exactly how to answer that question, but I think they got, you know, in my opinion, they got plenty of time to get ready for that game on the 31st. It's going to be some, you know, the vets get here by Friday, so you know they got quite a bit of time to get some stuff installed and, you know, run some stuff, get out there and get some scrimmages going. And, you know, before they get padded, you know, they'll have to get padded that week before the game. And so, you know, I think they'll be all right in that department. But another question that was asked was, you know, who do we sign? I think Levante said it. Who do we sign if there's going to be another signing? What comes first, a center or a edge rusher? And Brian, we're going to just keep it going in clockwise. I'm going to let you answer that and see what you have to say to that.
Edge.
Edge.
For the simple fact you signed two centers that even though Shelton is not listed as a starter according to our lads, he does have 2 years experience. So I mean, you got two guys that can play the position. Edge is the weakest spot on the team, or the one with the biggest question mark. So that's where I would go. Now, who do they sign? That's another big question.
Go ahead, Sean.
Edge, it makes sense. You know, you signed two centers. All right. The rumors, Khalil Mack rumors are swirling around. Yannick Ngakoue, you know, is still out there. So, you know, yeah, it's the edge. If there's another signing, it's an edge. They're not going back to the center position. Not at all. Cats.
What he said and what he said too, right? Like it's literally that simple. You got two guys already in line for that center position. Could they upgrade? Yes, they could, but doing so still leaves a glaring open hole that you have not addressed on that other side of Montez Sweat. One more time, I'll say this though: they may just want to give those kids the opportunity to shine. So I don't necessarily expect anything to happen this week. Maybe in a week or so after they've had a chance to actually get a good look at Austin Booker and a chance to get a good look at the new and improved Dominique Robinson in year 3. That being said, doubtful on the center for me.
Really quickly, man, for everybody in the Chicago area and Northwest Indiana area that are here in the show, blessings to see you here. And I hope everybody is okay, man. That was a rough night last night. I don't know how it was for everybody around the area, but I know it got rough for me. Rougher than, and by the way, shout out to KQ for being, this is the first place she came after her power just came back on. So shout out to Kay for that. That's what's up.
That's dedication there.
Yes, it is, man. Love that kind of stuff. And you know what I would say to that is, you know, it's very rare, Sean. You know that we don't get tornadoes in this area. You know, we get a little dust up, a little bit of wind. It might get a little rough. You know, you might lose a few shingles on your roof or something like that. But there was actually tornadoes that touched down around the city. I heard of one up and around O'Hare, one in the South Loop. I think it might have been a few more here and there, man, but it was, man, for the first time, I'm in the studio with kids and J2K. We're working on stuff. And, I hear my NOAA radio going off. By the way, if you don't have a NOAA radio, man, you should probably purchase one. That might be one of your best home investments ever, for your life too. You know what I mean? So heard the NOAA radio going off. We were in there for about another hour. And by the time we get out of there, I hear it go off as soon as we get out. And I'll go in there and look. Next thing you know, my girlfriend texts me, "Hey, you checking out the weather reports?" and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, okay. I just looked at the NOAA. And then as soon as I sat down, I get the extreme weather alert thing on my phone, which we hardly ever get around here. Get that on my phone, and like minutes after that, here goes the siren. So I mean, right after that, literally in succession, I'm looking outside and there's trees folding up. So I was just like, shit. So I get to the bathroom, man. I turned into a big old punk right about then because I was like, I'm a little bit worried. Get in the bathroom, looking for my cat and all that kind of stuff. But luckily, we were spared of any major damage. Didn't get a power outage. So, and I know how hot it was last night. You can imagine all that heat and humidity feeding into that cold air coming down out of Canada. And it was stifling, man. I opened the door for a second.
Hey, don't blame Canada for this.
Oh, man, something's always causing bad weather problems down here, man. But yeah, I opened that door. It felt like I opened a door up to an oven, man. It was rough. And I was just like, no wonder this weather is bad, man. It was just rough last night. So anyway, I just hope everybody's okay. Sean, did you get any ramifications of that last night?
Yeah, the wind was a little crazy out in Orland. The light was, had a light show. I was just driving in the neighborhood. Didn't see a lot of damage. I saw one section of a fence kind of pushed in, but nothing too crazy. I was surprised. I was really surprised.
Man, yeah, it was rough, man. I just had to speak to that because that was I'm not used to that around here, man. That happened real fast, and I didn't expect it to get that extreme. You heard about it for days ahead, but it was pretty rough. That being said, man, let's talk about some more football, man, because how about I got a couple little notes. Brandon Ayuk, and just for the record, before anybody asks, and snowball chance in hell, Brandon Ayuk is getting traded. Not a snowball chance in hell. Why? Is because I think he had a max money year last year, and I think he wants max money. He wants his money, and I don't think there's, number one, room on the roster for somebody of his magnitude. I think we got 3 dog receivers as it is, and 2, he just wants too much money. So I wouldn't get myself excited about any Brandon Ayuk coming here. So I just want to throw that out, Brian. If you want to speak to it, go right ahead.
It's already going to be difficult enough to give the 3 guys we got, all the opportunities. I don't see the need for Brandon. Sean?
Nope, I don't need him. I don't want him.
What's that?
Make my job easy. Make my job easy. Straight up, we've had this conversation before. I haven't been for a few years. I'm not high on Brandon Ayuk. I'll just put that out there. That's just me personally. I'm very high on Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and the number 9 pick.
Newly signed, freshly signed. Dude, that ink might not even be dry, kids.
Honestly, so much higher on those guys, and like, that pushes the number 3 guy to number 4 if we were even to entertain bringing somebody like Ayuk into the fold. So I don't see dollars and cents going there. I don't see even as much of a conversation happening. So there's that. Who's next? Where do we go?
Yeah, my take on it is very, very simple. We don't need him, flat out, man. Brandon Ayuk's a dog. The kind of money he's going to get, and I got he kind of wants to go play for Jaden Daniels over there, and is that his name? Did I say that right? Jaden Daniels. Okay,
you're talking Washington?
Yeah. Because they played together at Arizona State, so they got familiarity with each other. Makes sense, but there's a lot of teams. Somebody's going to go out and get him if the Niners don't sign him. But do we see him coming here? No. here's the other thing. The Connor Williams thing just won't go away. I think Bears fans have their minds on this guy, and it's just every time I go into a chat, somebody is asking, "Are we gonna sign Connor Williams?" I'm telling you guys, I keep saying it over and over again, and I almost sound like a broken damn record. But I'm telling you, you don't really know what we have in Ryan Bates yet. But when you find out, you're gonna realize that Connor Williams would be nice, but we are okay. I'm telling you. So that being said, let's just get that out of the way, Brian. You want to speak to it? Go ahead. If you don't, I don't blame you.
Connor Williams, terrific talent. Probably top 3 center the past couple of years, but the guy just suffered his second ACL, and I don't know if that's on the same. If it's on the same leg, then he's playing on one leg. If it's each leg, then that really sucks. And it just happened in December. Now, come on. I mean, I realize medical science has improved greatly over the years, but that would be the quickest healing of all time for a 300-pounder. I don't see it, and who knows what he's expecting. If it's a cheap $2 million a year contract, just so he could, try to get a big paycheck next year, sure, but I don't see that happening. Next player.
Go ahead, Sean.
Nope. Nope, we're good.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
right there with Sean on this.
Let's talk about actual Bears, because we're good. Like all these, and a lot of people, not just, a lot of people are saying, well, let's get him. Like, stop. You don't get all pros. You don't get all Americans. You don't get all.
We lost Sean.
You got it, Sean.
You know what? I'll finish Sean's sentence. Yeah, I'm fine without Connor Williams. I'm absolutely fine. Brian, you hit the nail on the head by pointing out those two injuries. That's actually the reason why the Connor Williams situation is a little bit frightening to me. We don't have those injury concerns with the other two guys that we have on the roster right now. Yes, they're new to you guys as far as Bear fans is concerned, but they're not new to the league. They are seasoned in the league and have experience at the center position. So I don't have any issues with that. I'll wait till I'll wait to see how they perform before I chastise them. Say what? What are you saying, Sean?
I think he's muted.
Uh-oh.
Sean might be having feed problems. Can you hear me, Sean? Can you hear me, Sean?
Give a thumbs up.
Yeah, no thumbs ups happening.
Hey, just text him. Tell him to pop out and pop back in. Just text him, Brian, in a private chat. Somebody.
All right, no worries. That being said, I think we've had our fill of Connor Williams for the day. Where to next?
Who's our backup center in the grass wants to know. That it would be Coleman Shelton. Right now, we got Coleman Shelton. I think the job is Ryan Bates to lose, and I think they brought Coleman Shelton in flat out for competition's sake. And so that's who I think our backup center is. But yeah. So what do we want to talk about here? I'm looking at a lot of conversation in the chat, man. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on. Sean, you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, Sean. Okay.
Boom, he's good. He's back.
All right, Sean.
I'm back, baby.
You in the middle of saying something, man, and then you got cut off, man.
I was saying, we can't just keep going and signing people because their names. All right, I think there's a chemistry that's involved. You got people here. You got all the positions filled. All right, you got the positions filled. Now let them cook. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. People are there going to be people out there. We'll sign him. We don't need them. All right, we don't need them. We are still good. We're still good. All right, and people even talk about the DN situation. If we don't sign one, I'm okay with it. I would like one, but I don't think it's a necessity. I think DeMarcus Walker and Booker, excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Awesome again.
I'll try to say.
Excuse you.
I'll try to say a little bit to what Sean was saying. I would like to see let at least a week or two of training camp to see what you have. And then also with our schedule, I mean, I don't want to say any team is easy, but it's very favorable for the Bears to have a winning record by the time they get their bye week, which is right around the time when training camp, or I'm sorry, when trading deadline is. See what you got. Polls past 2 years traded number one or number two pick, and you got two of them. If it's a deal where trying to get a player to put you over the top, to me that makes more sense. See what you got, and then by what, week 7, you can see what your record is, and do you want to try to play for a Super Bowl this year, or use both second round picks for next year to build up?
Sean, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Sean's in the background. I don't think he can hear me at all. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, Sean. Yeah, Sean, you got to pop out. You got to probably start. Just tell him to start his router up again. Kids, if you could, just tell him in private chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get to some start comments over here. I got all right, here we got double M, man. Welcome to the show. Do you all think Bears gave him an incentive? Reach the Super Bowl in his 3rd year or something, he might get a percentage from the club. You know what? I could try and answer that question, but it'd be kind of ignorant for me to answer because nobody knows what the hell is in his contract. Do I think any of that is likely? About 50-50 on that Super Bowl. I think Caleb's smart enough to know that, sometimes you got to, if you want to market yourself to get a certain amount of dollars, maybe you want to, give them some kind of incentive and ask for a certain incentive. If we do take this team to a Super Bowl, can you put a balloon in there for me? Could you imagine, kids, that he's smart enough and the people around him are smart enough to have that put in the contract? I don't know.
There's no way. Again, it's not. There's no way that they would make that kind of a concession on a set contract, and that's you doing that sets precedent for other teams, right? And that's why I'm saying there's no way that it would happen. You do that, and then Jaden Daniels is like, whoa. You hear what Caleb did? Like, I want to redo my stuff, and like I'm saying it a little bit backwards because odds are Jaden's already signed his stuff and he's probably good to go. But come this time next year when the next guy gets signed, the next quarterback gets signed, he's going to want some sort of stipulation in a similar fashion thrown into his contract, which throws the entire collective bargaining agreement out the window. So no, there's no way that they did that. But at the same time, do I depending on how these 4 years come and go, don't be surprised if that's in the docket on contract 2, his first actual free agent contract with the Bears, right? Like that could well be on the docket if he makes it to the Super Bowl and or multiple playoffs. I definitely push for that, right? Like I would definitely push to have some kind of additional stipulation in my contract. And what's really cool about Caleb Williams is that he's sort of he's becoming slowly but surely the true figurehead of this team, right? And I think that aspect of him as a quarterback and as a leader of this team is going to increase and blow up quite a bit. You see him out there hugging kids and throwing footballs and going to the football camps just on his own volition. I think he's an awesome guy, and I think he's going to be an awesome spokesperson or superstar, if you will, for the Chicago Bears as we move forward. And if all of those things that I'm sort of saying, if some of them ring true, not necessarily all, but if some of them ring true, I think there's all the more reason to have a conversation about, hey, you know what? Slide me a little bit of ownership when I bring another Super Bowl to this team.
It's not going to happen. You can't do it. It's a conflict of interest. You can't do it. So you're gonna have to stop. People are gonna stop thinking that you can't own a team that you play on, not in the NFL. It's just not. It's just not gonna happen. So, you can give them a lot more money, but Can't give him ownership.
Right.
Now,
Mm,
if he was smart, he would put in his contract a clause, hey, if I break whatever quarterback record, because that bar sets so damn low, he's probably going to hit it.
I'm trying to tell you that you can't have ownership and play for the team because then it's a conflict of interest, which means you can't trade him because he's the owner. He's not going to go for it. It's a conflict of interest. He's not getting ownership of the team.
I'm not saying own the team. I'm
he's
saying
not wrong.
I was being facetious, but just as a bonus, pass on owning the team, just as a bonus if I break a record.
Oh yeah, he has a good chance of it. A lot of the rookie records. I don't think he'll break a lot of the seats. I mean, he can, but I mean, the rookie records are set so low because our franchise records are low, so the rookie records are even lower. So he should break most of, if not all, of the rookie records, and he's got a good shot of breaking the franchise. Was it 38-28, something like that? No, it's 3,800 something, 3,800 plus by Eric Kramer. So he's got a good chance at it. Got a real good shot.
Technically, Odunze, he's got a chance to break Johnny Morris's record for wide receiver by the time his contract's over with.
Yeah. That's crazy. He got the most yards.
He actually laughed at the record too when he heard what it was.
Mm-hmm.
In a career? That's what he said. He's like, not in a career. Okay, all right. I'm ready for him to break it.
Squeegee is asking me, what he asked me, what's the name of the old school offense Waldron uses? All I know him to be involved with is West Coast. Anything else?
It's two names.
What is it?
I can't think of it, but it's two names named after two people.
I know we ain't talking about the running shootout.
Yeah. Like Robertson and Anderson or something like,
I'm not sure, man.
What do you think of this McVay Shanahan?
No. This is guys in the 70s.
Oh.
Hey, Florida Bears fan says, no, man. Can we get Caleb on the chat just to set the record straight? I'm going to call him now, man. I'm going to call his ass right now and see what you doing, man.
FaceTime him.
Answer your voicemails, Caleb Williams. Answer your voicemails.
Yeah, so, hey, man, look. Sean, you didn't get to watch. I don't know if you watched, but we did the show Sunday, man. We were talking about basically it was about, who we thought might come out as the MVP in camp on offense and the MVP on defense, man. And that conversation went all over the place. And so I gave a reason why I thought that DJ might have a hard time. And so I want to see if this makes sense to you football-wise. Okay. And so I said that if I'm Flus, I want to give Caleb the most realistic game scenario that he can possibly see during, the season. And that scenario would be roll coverage to DJ and kind of take him out and force Caleb to concentrate on his other receivers. I think he's going to see that more than anything else early until he proves that these other receivers that they have on the team, they've got a connection to him. I think if I'm a defensive coordinator, the first thing I want to do, because DJ can hurt you in so many ways, is take him, roll coverage towards him, and take my chances that way. Second half, that doesn't work. I'm manning up. But I said that, I think that's a good practice scenario for Caleb Williams to see roll coverage over a DJ and take his eyes off of him and, go to some other guys. What do you think about that?
The problem with that, in practice, okay. But as
he's going to see it in a game. He's going to see it in a game.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't. Because you roll coverage that way. You got a 1,200-yard future Hall of Famer that you're throwing to. It's not like you're throwing to an average receiver. That's the problem as a defensive coordinator. Like I don't know if as a former defensive coordinator, I don't know if I'd roll coverage over to DJ. All right, I have to play straight up because Keenan Allen will kill you. He will kill. He will destroy you. So you want to take him. So you want to roll coverage there. So if you roll coverage, well, Keenan Allen, one of his strength is finding spots in the zone. So now if you roll coverage and you shade somewhere over there, guess what? Now you're just stretching that zone and you're leaving the gap, the soft spots in any zone, because all the zones have a soft spot. You're expanding those soft spots for a guy who's made a living off finding soft spots in the zone. So you can't. It's difficult going zone and rolling coverage is difficult going man because DJ got man. He's a great man-to-man wide receiver. And I mean, and we don't even know how good Rome's going to be against his number 3 or number 4 cornerback. He might be he might even be as good as in man versus those guys because he's not getting the top corner. So I don't know. I maybe in practice role.
Let me rephrase it. Sean,
Okay.
let me rephrase it for you. If you're a defensive coordinator and you made the decision that you want to roll coverage on somebody, who do you think the biggest threat is?
If you made a decision and that, yeah, okay, but you put it that way, yeah, DJ Moore.
Okay, so that's all I'm getting at. If I just think, personally, if it was me calling the shots, and I wanted to give Caleb the best case scenario of adversity he could face early in the season, I think a scenario like that, I'm with you, Sean. I don't think it's to an advantage of any defense to go rolling coverage on any of these guys because too many other guys can hurt you. But if you want to give Caleb a realistic look at something that might cause him some adversity, you do that and take the most dynamic weapon away from him. And so
but you got to do it both ways though. You're going to have to shade coverage to DJ, but then you're also going to have to shade coverage to Keenan Allen as well. Like you're going to want to confuse him. You're going to want him to say, because what's going to happen is you shade coverage to DJ Moore. Well, guess what? He's going to say, okay, well, they're just going to double him or shade coverage. I'm going to look for Keenan Allen first. Oh, snap. I'm looking for Keenan Allen this time, and now they roll coverage of him. They disguise it. Now they're rolling coverage of him. So you're going to have to do both. So he gets a good grasp of, because you're going to try and trick this kid. As a defensive coordinator, you're going to try and trick him. And defensive coordinator is going to win some, and he's going to win some. And the more he's able to dissect the defense sooner he's able to dissect it. Oh, I see him shading this way, I'm going this way. I see him shading this way, I'm going this way. So I think in practice you should start doing that for both, kind of doing shading for both, because again, you got a stud receiver in Keenan Allen who can carry this team as a wide receiver 1 because he has in San Diego, Los Angeles for so many years. So I think you're gonna have to try and confuse them. And the best part about it is we got the defensive coordinator to do it. We've got a great defensive coordinator who can do that. And if he's able to, and if Caleb's able to pick up on those quickly, Lord have mercy. It's gonna be super, super, super exciting.
Dobbsy, real quick, man. Dobbsy 34 has got some really good perception, man, because that's exactly where I was going next. And yes, I believe Dobbsy's asking, so you're saying I should pick up Keenan Allen in fantasy? Yes, for this reason I'm about to describe to Sean. And so here's the question, Sean. Who's the move guy in the offense? Who's that guy they're going to put in motion more times than not? My opinion, it's Keenan Allen because he's going to work out of the slot mostly. And so, knowing that, this is just what I think. I think you move the slot guy more times. It's going to be different guys in motion. But more times than not, I see Keenan Allen as that move guy in motion to try to jimmy the defense a little bit because he's going to play out of the slot. And so that makes it more difficult for somebody to double team him. And so, yes, Dobbsy, I think that's a solid freaking bet to get him in your fantasy football league. I would do that. Absolutely. But Sean, what do you think about that?
I think they're gonna put all of them in the slot at some point. I think it's, and it's really the matchup, because if you get, let's be honest, let's think, because all these guys can play on the outside. All these guys can play on the inside. So if you see, let's see. You might literally see in the, all right, paper, rock, scissors. Damn. All right, I'll be outside today because their third cornerback is out and they got a guy they just street on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna be fighting. There's a fight on the sideline because they want the slot position, and you can continue to do that. You can continue to, move the slot and get him free release. It's super hard to get a jam on a guy, in motion, but not just a guy in motion. We're not talking 185 pound receivers. We're talking guys that are big, strong. So, yeah, I think initially you put Keenan there, but man, you could put them all there, and
that's the beauty of it is they all can play that role. You know what I mean? But for your standard, your base formation, I'm thinking that guy is going to be Keenan's going to get his number probably pegged more often than not, just because he gets his best work out of the slot. Now I just think he's that dynamic. What you smiling about? Sean got a message or something.
No, just no. It's
Don't worry about it.
No, it's. I'm listening to you, and I'm just like, yeah. I'm. The more I now that everyone's signed, as soon as that thing came across a little while ago, my mind started going, because everything that I've thought about before, now it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they weren't signed. All right, we can sit there and talk about whatever until they're signed. That can't happen. Well, guess what? Now they're signed, and I'm fired up about it. I'm just fired up about it, man. And again, it's stat. You talk about stacking the team, like this is crazy. This is legitimately crazy. Like the sooner Caleb can get this, bro, we're looking at possibly a team that can rival the greatest show on turf with the type of receivers that they have not had, because they're all number one receivers, all of them.
Deshaun, that's not a reach either.
It's not. I'm not no hyperbole at all.
None. And that's why, like, now I understand why you're smiling. Like, it's literally that simple. I had to kind of laugh myself, because even the idea of rolling.
That ain't why his ass smiling. He ain't smiling.
I'm telling you. Well, all right. I'm just saying I'm smiling because of it, because I don't know how you're gonna roll coverage. You're rolling coverage. You're leaving two number one wide receivers in situations where they can get wide open. And I'm talking about in the given scenario, Odunze and Keenan Allen. Right. And if we're talking about Odunze, 6'3", lightning fast, over top of a number 3 cornerback, I'm interested. Right. Like, initially I stop and I'm like, I don't see Rome getting as many targets, obviously, as a Keenan Allen being the safety blanket, as a DJ Moore just being a beast on the field. But hey, let's do the Bill Belichick thing and take your best weapon away. And like, I just started laughing a couple minutes ago, because that's what was running through my head. And the answer was, which weapon are they taking away again? Because I don't know which one you take away, yo. I don't know.
Well,
good luck.
You got to have a conversation with DJ Moore and say, hey, DJ, look, here's what they're going to do. They're going to come out, all right, and they're going to, if I had, gun to your head, who you taking out? You got to go DJ first, all right, just youth wise, all right, not production, just even production, but youth wise. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. All right, we're going to go and we're going to target Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, and when they go straight up, because they're going to have to go straight up, or they're going to have to shade over. If Keenan Allen has 6 catches, $105 in the first half, and Odunze has 3 catches for 64 yards, you're like, okay, well, let's take the shade off of DJ. Guess what, DJ? You got to be a little patient, right? Because now you can get 6 catches for $120, $125 in the second half, because they either rolled coverage back over to Keenan, or they played straight up, one or the other.
Okay,
so you got to be patient.
I love it. I love it.
Wait 1 second. Let me acknowledge Jason with the $1.99 super chat. Shout out to Jason for that. Thank you, my guy. F Green Bay. Let's go. That's all you need to say.
FGB.
But here, good looking out, Jason. But here, Sean, this is right back to you again, because Kay just asked a question. Kinda. She heard you mention something about decoy, so she needs to know exactly what you mean by that. So just get a little bit more nuance in decoys when you got a receiver as a decoy.
So when you have a receiver as a decoy, especially, you're going to want to. You usually want to have your best receiver going to be the decoy. Obviously, your worst receiver is not going to be the decoy, because no one gives a damn about him. Okay, so what you're going to have DJ doing is you're going to have him running routes, maybe longer routes, deeper routes. Okay, pulling the defense, stretching the defense, because if you shade coverage to him, okay, he's going to occupy 2 guys. Okay, and if they're in zone, if they're in zone. Every zone has a soft spot. Doesn't matter what zone. Mm-hmm. All right. Cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, cover 6. Okay. It doesn't matter. They all have soft spots that can be exploited. Well, when you shade someone over, and that's if you're playing straight up. So if you shade someone over, The soft spots that are already there, whatever defense you decide, they get widened because you're moving a guy out of a spot he's supposed to be just to kind of help with one of the other receivers. Okay. That's what I mean by so there's a decoy, so they can have him run a post or have him run a corner, and you might have a free safety in a corner, so go back with him. Well, guess what? That spot that the cornerback evacuated becomes a little vulnerable for the opposing team. So you can do as a decoy, you occupy usually two guys, two defensive backs. Okay. And in the zone, it'll really stretch. And if it's a man, it can really, really, really be dangerous in man, because if you vacate an area, okay, and someone gets a free release, one of the other guys gets a free release and runs to that zone that was vacated, he's running free.
So really quick, Kay, just to emphasize what Sean is saying. So usually your decoys are your speedier guys, the ones that can really threaten to take the top off the defense. So first people that come to my mind is, of course, DJ Moore, people like Velus Jones. Those are really good weapons you can use for decoys to kind of pull an extra piece or two away from where you really want to throw the ball, is what Sean is saying. You want to throw the ball somewhere, so you need to get guys out of that area. So you use a decoy to get him, get guys away from that spot. And so that's pretty much what Sean is saying right there. But every team, every play has got a decoy on passing plays. Guaranteed there's a decoy out there, a guy designed to be the decoy. So good question, KQ. But yeah, man, this is about to be real, real fun, man. And I really, really want to see one of the storylines that really, really intrigues me, not because I want to see, the worst thing happen or I'm ready to move on from this guy, but it's Dominique Robinson and the addition of Eric Washington and the kind of effect that he might have on Dominique in his going into his third year. And, be quite frank with you, with everything on the table for Dominique, he can either kind of shit or get off the pot this year. And I'm hoping that he takes a big one, a huge one, and leaves it there for everybody to see. Don't flush it. Like, I want to see Dominique Robinson ascend to the next level. Brian, if you want to go ahead and speak to that, go right ahead.
Yeah, I can't word it any better than what you did. If Dominique
or
has
as eloquently,
if Dominique has anything, he better show it now, or he's no longer a Chicago Bear. Take it away, Sean.
Yep, that's it. Here's your time. All right, you got one of the, and the only unfortunate thing for him is he may have to unlearn some of the things that he learned. All right, and because you got a really good and a well-respected defensive line coach. He's a defensive coordinator as well, but defensive line coach. He's well-respected. He's gotten the best. He's had a lot of players ascend to higher levels and take another step. And now it's your time. Now it's your time. And if you can be a consistent, if you can be a consistent contributor, if the fall off isn't that great when you go in, okay, then that's what you need. We're not asking you to go to Canton. We're not asking you to be a first team all NFL or a Pro Bowler. We're asking you to do your job. All right, live 1 yard in the backfield. That's it. That's all you got to live. 1 yard in the backfield. That's all you got to do. And if you can do that, you may have a longer stay here in Chicago. If you can't do it, and especially with a guy like Mr. Washington, Coach Washington, who's known for that, if you can't do it under him, yeah, then your days in Chicago are numbered. So I wish you the best of luck, kid. All right, go kick some ass because you're going to need it, because and I feel it's his last chance in Chicago, because he didn't come in with he's a project. All right, he's a project. He didn't come in with a high pedigree, which gave him a little extra length on the rope. All right, but now you're at the end of your rope, son, and you got to put up or shut up. Catch.
Yeah, all of that stuff, right? So he came in here, I believe a wide receiver and quarterback and tight end convert who became a defensive end in his last season of college, and unfortunately just didn't come in with a bag of tricks. That's really what he's missing.
Right.
He's a freak athlete. I've been down on Dominique, and I'll just come out and admit I've been down on Dominique these last couple of seasons. I'll be fully honest about that. But it ain't about me. Who cares about me? I care about the Chicago Bears, and I want this kid to succeed. I know that he's done a heck of a lot of work in the offseason to, again, change his physique, add a little bit of power. Maybe he doesn't have the speed rush and or other tools, but maybe he's got a bull rush now. Only time will tell. We'll have to sort of wait and see what it materializes into. And I am going to say stuff like Corey Wooten, shout outs to you, brother. You turned up in season 3, right? You turned up in season 3 and made your impression felt. This is not completely unheard of for, again, that player at that position to turn up in season 3. And now I'm going to give the opposite. I'm going to say Leonard Floyd did not turn out in season 3, right? He did not. It went in the complete opposite direction. So
he turned up in season 4 and 5 after we got rid of him.
Different scheme, and that was what we found out was the 3-4 wasn't for Leonard Floyd. It was a 4-3 situation under which he excels. He went over to 4-3, worked out, and maybe that's the type of shift that Dominique Robinson needs. Personally, I'm hoping that's not the shift he needs. I'm hoping he turns out like Corey Wooten. But one more time, only time will tell. Upside is he's got a little bit of competition right behind him by way of Austin Booker. So maybe Austin helps to push him as well. Another angle to all this is maybe he is the run stopping angle to, or like coefficient to Austin Booker's pass rushing coefficient. I don't know how I don't know how you're going to line up both of those guys and guess downs, right? Like you really want one guy to just set that edge and hold it down. But maybe that's how this all shakes out.
Hey, look,
all of that in code to say, go get an edge rusher.
Hey, look, Sean, I know exactly what's going on with Dominique Robinson. Dominique Robinson, and I've said this a few times, Dominique Robinson is just new at his job. What I mean by that is he hasn't been playing the position for quite as long as some of these other more polished guys that play the position. And he's learning, not only he had to learn it to play it college football style, now he's learning it and it's taking him a couple of years to do it on this level. And so I believe, I was watching him, watched all of his snaps the last couple of years. I seen Dominique Robinson really lean into his speed and athleticism quite a bit. And in the very first game, it paid dividends for him, in that San Francisco Monsoon game, Kay. Thank you for that. But then they caught up with him. Tape came out on him, and they start studying the guy. And what happened was, you could stop his speed rush, and that's it. That's pretty much what he has. And so after a speed rush, now you got to figure out some other things. Now you got to figure out if you want to use a spin move, you want to go a duck and under, do you want to go a
push pull?
It's all kinds of. It means defensive end is such a toolsy position to learn, and you to be that young at your job and not having that many reps doing it. I understand why Dominique Robinson suffered so much in these last couple of years. But now with the installation of Eric Washington in here, maybe he's figured out something with Dominique Robinson, and probably by way of what we've heard so far in this offseason, by way of that, they've told him to beef up. Get yourself strong. You're going to lean more into your power rush this year. And so will that pay dividends for Dominique Robinson? I'm guessing, Dominique is a big, strong kid, man. And I think I think going that way, that technique, and trying to lean heavily into the power and whatever he's going to use off of that as a counter, I think that's the way to go. Because obviously,
as long as he doesn't sacrifice his speed, right, Nomad? Like if he's able to keep that speed and increase the power,
you mean quickness?
He might have a really nice speed to power situation that we're yet to see.
You mean quickness? It's about foot quickness. It ain't really about speed at that spot, man. It's about foot quickness and how well you close once you get around the corner. And so, I think that, Sean, that's what comes in my head is maybe he was trying too many things early off. Maybe you just dumb it down and make him focus on a singular thing and a counter off of it, being his power and the counter off the power. That's what I'm thinking. Eric Washington.
Yeah, because where do you start with him? You know what I mean? Like, where do you start with his athleticism? Where do you start? And it's you're right. We sit there and we have to remember he's changed position. So, and just going from high school to college, the transition, if you're playing the same position, is difficult. All right, he went from one position to a second position to a third position in college. All right, and then he's asked to make that without a lot of experience. He's asked to take that same position that he just learned in college to the highest level. So, but by the same token, now you're third year in, Papa. You're third year in.
Mhm.
And you got to understand you're a piece of meat. You're a commodity. If you can't, we'll go find another. We'll go find somebody else. We'll go find another project. We'll go find another guy. Maybe not a project, but maybe we'll find a guy who's played defensive end since high school. All right, so he doesn't have to learn the nuances. He comes well equipped with those nuances.
Hey, you guys, I'm going to ask this question, man, because I think this is the most important aspect to circle as far as why the Bears haven't signed a defensive end just yet in free agency. And I do think they will, but it's a good chance they will not, based on the guy we just got through speaking about. Has this guy taken a jump? Do we need to go and sign that other edge rusher? Do we have this guy in the locker room already? Not only him, you can't forget we do have Jacob Martin, who was absolutely impressive in OTAs. No, they didn't have pads on. And, he's got a body of work out there already if you want to go check it out. The dude can absolutely get to the quarterback. And so I think the roster spot that Dominique Robinson fills has a lot to do with whether or not and how quickly we sign an edge rusher. Anybody agree or disagree with that?
No.
Disagree.
You don't think so? If he comes out gangbusters and nobody can hold him, what the hell they need to sign an edge rusher for?
I think you're still good with DeMarcus Walker and Booker.
That's actually where I was going to go to, Sean, because he's the one guy that we don't talk about when we have this conversation. That's DeMarcus Walker. Yeah, we really don't. Who's to say maybe he has a big game, like a big season this season?
He's getting coached by Washington too. Let's not forget that.
Right?
Yep.
So it's a crap. I hate to say it, but it's a little bit of a crapshoot on that position. We got 4 guys, and I'll throw Jacob Martin into the mix here as well. In Booker, Martin, DeMarcus Walker, as well as Dominique Robinson. All 4 of those guys are talented and could ascend a little bit in this coming season. I think they just need a little bit of time to assess if that's actually on the docket for the season or if it ain't. And if they're worried that that's not the situation, then you'll see them go reach out and sign an edge rusher. I mean, Yannick is apparently still in the building there, so they don't even have to go too far.
That's true. Yannick is inside the Bears facility, I believe. Yeah. He's been in there working out, rehabbing, and doing all that kind of stuff. And I think they have an obligation somewhat. If a player gets injured while on the job, he can probably rehab there in the facility. I don't know. That's what I'm assuming. But it is nice to know that he's in the building and they got eyes on him and can see what actual progress he's making. But that being said, Yannick, I would not be mad if they brought him back to the Bears healthy this year. I would be elated if we kept that guy here. But if they won't, go ahead, Sean.
No, I said, no, I'm agreeing with you. I said, yeah, I'm happy too.
Yeah, so, I can't wait to see what they do, man, because this conversation ain't going nowhere until they actually do or do not get an edge rusher. I don't think, as of right now, based on what I've seen on film, we don't have enough on the other side yet. I know a lot of people feel like, okay, we'll be fine. We got a rookie. We got, DeMarcus Walker. I don't think that's enough, man. If we want to do what everybody expects us to do, and that is compete this year, I think now I can go along with this. Keep what you have until the trade deadline and see what you look like then. I can go along with that conversation and be okay with that. And because listen, kids, there's a couple of guys that's out there that might be probably on the market, and some good pieces out there. So you don't want to overly commit to somebody right now during this period when later on there's going to be a piece or two that comes up in the trade market come trade deadline. So I can go along with that thought too. I'm just trying to temper my expectations as to what they do and what they don't do, and try to figure out the reasons why they're doing it instead of.
So, yeah, I got a problem with that. Like, I actually do, because you go through the schedule, and those first 10 games are winnable games, right? There's some that we, are expected to lose, right? 9 games, fair, right? Like
10 weeks, 9 games.
Couple of games were expected to are expected to be a good fight. Rams, Houston, but if you're basically waiting 7 games to see what happens before you pull the trigger and make a move, you might have jeopardized those games. And that's what I'm trying. Like, that's the only problem that I have with waiting until trade deadline to make a move at edge rusher. If you make the move right around, let's just call it Khalil Mack time, because I think he was like the weekend before the first game of the season when he came. Right, like if you do something in and around there, it gives you the opportunity to test things out with the existing defense. Make sure that these guys are the guys that you want them to be. If they're not, you bring in a guy and you have him play the season and fill that role. That potentially allows you to win those first 9 games, or the majority of them. Obviously, they're not going to win them all. If they do, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it gives you that linchpin that you're missing to complete the defense and have a problem on both sides. If it's a problem on that one side for 7 to 9 games, they might have a hard time pushing into the playoffs, right? Like, and
they have to. That first 7 games, Kaz, is going to tell. First 10 games. I'm sorry, 9 games, 10 weeks is going to be telling. Because I told you I couldn't find a third loss in there. Because you're not going to. I shouldn't say I couldn't. I struggled to find a third loss in there.
Yeah.
All right, because you're not going to be exploited by those teams. The majority of those teams in those first 9 games, like you will in the last 8 games. You're not. All right, you're not going to be exploited by New England. You're not going to be exploited by Washington. You're not going to be exploited by Arizona. You're not going to be exploited by the Panthers. You're not going to be. I mean, that's 4 games right there. Yeah. All right, these are guys. These are games. This is the time. Okay, thank you, NFL. This is the time. The schedule really favors us because DeMarcus Walker and Austin Booker might not be what you need week 1. They might be more than sufficient week 6, week 7, and we haven't even got to the division yet. And if they're more than you need at that particular point, well, guess what? Now we're playing with house money because we got the growing pains out of the way. We got teams that didn't exploit them because you screw up, San Fran's gonna exploit you at 6. All right, CMC is gonna find some way and it's done. All right, the Vikings have a phenomenal offense. The Packers still own us. Okay. Those teams will exploit the hell out of you. Not the majority of the teams in the first half of the season, the first 9 games, and that's where you can build. And that's why I'm saying I'm okay with those guys. And if you see after week 3 or 4, you got to see improvement. Don't. I'm not gonna say okay after week 9. Say okay, well, no, you got to start seeing improvement. All right, you got to see good things from Booker. You got to see good things from DeMarcus Walker. Okay, and say okay, good. Now I can build on it. Week 2, okay. Week 3, okay. Week 4, I'm seeing improvements. And again, improvement development is not linear, but you'll be able to see it. That's for darn sure. As a scout, as a GM, even sometimes as a fan, you'll be able to see it. Like, oh snap, okay. Just like we saw Javon Dexter last year, struggle. Oh, okay, had a good game. Oh, had a good game. Oh, had a better game. Oh, okay. Watch out. You saw him progress. If we see them progress in those first 5 weeks, even before we get to week 9, the 9th game, week 10, we start to see that progression. Watch out now. Watch out now.
I just want to, folks are, and I'll start this little quick rant off by saying I'm sorry, Chris. Rest in peace, my brother C Sharp, because I'm about to stick up for Yannick Ngakoue. The majority of the world out there is like, no, he didn't work out last season. No, let's look at anybody else, please, right? So I'm going to say that this guy is youthful enough and has put up redonkulous numbers everywhere else he's been. And 2 things are of importance to understand about Yannick Ngakoue. The first one is in all of those other locations, he had a bookend. Very important to really think about. There's another guy on the other side, so double teams weren't all trained and focused on him all for the better part of the season. So he was actually able to eat.
I get nudge.
You know what I mean? What? Yes, not. What happened at what happened at the end of this season? He got his bookend, and all of a sudden he started to play like Yannick Ngakoue can play. Unfortunately, he got hurt, and that was more or less the end of it. But if he's got a bookend for an entire season, I think he's just fine. But even better if we can get him at a good contract.
Not just that, kids. It's not just the bookend. You got Billings, and what if Javon Dexter takes a step forward?
Hello.
Now you got to double team him. Because you're not going to be able to double team him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you got Billings.
What happened on the wide receivers? Like who do you double team on that defensive line now?
I mean, Billings already is going to command a double team because he's the way he collapses the pocket. You got to double team Sweat, otherwise he's going to live. He'll have, he'll break the NFL record if you don't double team him. You only have 5 linemen, or you keep a tight end in. Well, then get another guy out of the route tree, out of the routes. Back in, another guy out of the routes. So. This is why Coach Washington is so important, because you can get by with a year with those guys. Because if Javon Dexter takes a step forward, now he's a Mickey Ficky problem. He's a Mickey Ficky problem. Now you got 2 guys, Sweat and Dexter, and Billings was a problem already because you don't extend the guy. He wasn't even done his first year. His first year wasn't even played. It wasn't even finished, and they extended him.
I'm going to double down on where you're at, because the way that Javon Dexter becomes that problem is by having the bookends, right? So now the double teams are going either here or here. Now you got a one-on-one in the middle, and you're going to learn to eat on those one-on-ones until the defense is like, oh, snap, we got to double team you now, right? Like this is again a beautiful problem for us to have. This is exactly why we need that other guy on the other side, or to grow another guy, develop a guy on that other side, so that Javon Dexter can actually get those one-on-ones and get disruptive up the center. I can't wait for these things to actually be a reality.
Let me speak to something right quick before you guys carry on with this. King Booker World shares my energy, and I'm exactly where he is right now. Before I answer this, man, I do believe this. One thing I know about football is you're never going to have enough guys that get after the quarterback. You can never, ever have too many guys that can get after the quarterback. And so where I'm sharing this with King Booker World says they need to snatch teams' confidence this year.
Yeah.
Teams play the Bears thinking, oh, it's just the Bears mentality. They have to have that, oh, shit, it's the Bears feelings from now on. How do you do that? You don't be cheap when you feel like you have a chance. And I believe if they believe in this quarterback, as he's gained my confidence. I wasn't always there with him, but he's gaining my confidence. And even though he hasn't played a snap in the NFL yet, I can see some traits in him that really leads to me feeling very optimistic about that. I'm saying this to say what I'm about to say next. Getting that other edge rusher now and not worrying about, what it might cost, I think is, to me, the best thing to do. Because if you are confident about this guy, we've got the defense to do this, man. We've got the defense to really dominate games if we want to. Now having an offense to keep us, and you don't expect a whole lot moving right out of the gate. If he comes out hot, that would be a surprise to me. But if it takes him 3, 4, 5 games, that wouldn't be a surprise to me either. But if this thing starts to pick up, and we're sitting here with, an average player on the other side of Montez Sweat, that's not good. We need a guy over there that can absolutely be dominant for that scenario Cass got through describing to really, really take place and to manifest. And so what I'm going to say to King Booker World is thank you for that comment. I think we need to act like big boys in this league. We're a big franchise, and we need to act like that. Get that piece that you really want. Don't give me no pieces that you think could be good. Get that dude on the other side. That's what I think.
You want to go get a snot? You want to go get a hitman? Like you want like a one hitter quitter? Like we're getting you for 1 year, we're gonna let these guys develop.
No. As a matter of fact,
See?
Sean, I'm for if you believe in Trey Hendrickson, go and make the trade for him now.
Okay.
I'm that guy.
Well,
You
I
know.
see. I don't. And for me, my thought is this: like, I see your point. I see your point completely. But my thing
No,
is when stuff gets
so
when
with
stuff
you, Chuck. Go.
when stuff starts leaking up the middle. Nah, homie, that's a whole nother level that quarterbacks just don't want to deal. You can deal with guys coming off the side. You can't. When guys are coming up the middle and the dam is breaking in their face, there's so many things that can go wrong. Okay, with one, you can't follow through. 2, you break your finger on a guy's helmet. 3, your arm gets to all these little things that happen when they come in when the rush is in your face.
Yeah.
Those don't happen as much when you guys coming from the side because you can step up, kind of maybe avoid it, maybe kind of land on the tackle when he's tackling you, land on the tackler. But if a guy's coming in your face, you can't step up, you can't do nothing, you can't. There's a lot that you cannot do, and if there's a lot you cannot do, I'm okay with that. Don't get me wrong. If you make the trade and you go get that other end, okay, cool, fine. I'm with it. I'm with it. But if you decide not to and you want to wait, I'm okay with it too because I want to see Coach Washington's effect on those guys in the middle because you just cannot deal quarterbacks. That is the worst place. The one place they don't want pressure is up the middle. They do not because your eyes have to come downfield. You have to come down. Your eyes have to come off of downfield. You can feel the pressure from the side and stand up, but if there's a guy in your face, that's a whole different ball game, a whole different set of problems. So that's why I'm okay with that push up front. Dexter and Billings.
Let me speak to Dobbsy right quick. Dobbsy, that what you're saying right here, I respect. He said it's hard to pay both edges.
Yes.
Why not pay one and develop a rookie on the other side? To me, that goes right back to what I was just saying before. To me, that's a conservative approach and wait till next year kind of mindset. That I understand why people think that way, but I think we've suffered as a fan base, and the Bears have suffered as an organization thinking that way. I think there's like edge rushers. They are so hard to find. The really good ones, they don't come around that often. The opportunities to get them aren't always there. And I think the Bears have missed those opportunities year after year after year. You know, when we got that time, we got Khalil Mack straight up caught me by surprise. Straight up caught me by surprise. And I don't regret that signing whatsoever. Listen, I think in order to play in the league with the big boys, you have to get to go do big boy stuff. And that is not thinking that, okay, we always got next year to develop this guy we can draft in the draft. Oh, man, what if this team is good enough this year? And we didn't do that. See, that's what I'm tired of, running into those situations when we got a team that's out there battling and can take some heads off, but we haven't done everything we could as an organization and a front office to laden this team with the pieces that it needs. So if that piece is there and somebody's willing to answer that phone for a really good edge rusher, I think the Bears need to be the first ones on that other line of conversation. That's just me, Nazi.
But why though? Why though, Nomad?
Because
here's why. Here's why I'm asking that. We have a deep draft in edge rushers next year. We have a lot of draft picks next year. We could package some to jump up. And guess what? Austin Booker's not going to be a rookie next year anymore. All right, Booker's not going to be a rookie next year anymore. So you got Montez Sweat on one side. You got a guy who's who's been coached by Washington, who's stepping into his sophomore season in the pros, and then you get another guy if you want. You know what I mean? And now we're still on because unfortunately we do have to understand that we got a cap we got to deal with, and this is a way to circumvent that. You get 2 top-notch young defensive ends. I can kind of go with that. I can kind of go with that.
I'm so with you, Superbag. I'm glad you sort of touched on that. I'm going to sort of tie this whole thing up into a bow. First one being from the guy who's generally wearing it. I'm not wearing my Khalil Mack jersey. I thought I was wearing it. I'm wearing Alshon Jeffrey today. But for a guy who's usually wearing a Khalil Mack jersey, I actually have some regrets about that trade. Right? I think he jumped the gun too early, and I think we gave away a lot of capital, and that capital hurt us years down the road. I think that I know that the edge rushers next draft are numerous and very, very good, right? So there's that. Next year's an edge rusher heavy or D line heavy draft as opposed to this season. This season was a quarterback heavy draft.
Can I say something to you, man? You know what terrifies me is
What?
this team it comes out and it's playing lights out football. But the only problem we have, and I'm scared of not closing games because we don't have enough on the other side. That shit scares the F out of me.
It scares me too, bro. And this is why I want, like I'm saying, I'm gonna wrap this all up into a balls because Dobbsy said it himself, and I'm kind of right there with Dobbsy. I want a merc. I want a mercenary. Yannick Ngakoue is a great mercenary. Is he the best potential mercenary out there? I don't know. I'll leave that up to Ryan Poles to decide. There's other guys out there like a Matthew Judon, as a for instance, but a Matthew Judon is going to cost a little bit more to bring in and may potentially sacrifice what you're going to do at that position in the following year. I feel like if you get the edge rusher come hell or high water in 2025, we're on a direct path to Super Bowl in 2025, 2026.
You know, they can't be on that this year. That's the question.
They could be if they get a mercenary who can hold down that other side. And that's what I want. I want them to spend between 6 to 12 max on a 1 to 2 year deal for somebody on the opposite of Montez Sweat. It's basically what I'm asking for. Anything more than that, I think you might have overplayed your hand.
So Michael Copeland, really quick, man. Thank you for the comment. He said it would be dumb to sacrifice a draft pick for a player at any position this year.
I agree.
Here's where I take a little bit of difference with that.
Well, maybe I don't.
And this will make sense to you, Michael, after I get through describing it. There's once in a while, there's a sure thing that comes out of the NFL draft. Once in a while, you know, at different positions, whether it be quarterback, running back, receiver, defensive end, whatever position you can think of. There's one pretty much in every draft for the most part. Now there's no guarantees. Is what I'm getting at, Michael. And I always tell people, I don't care how many draft picks you have. Every last one of them are projections. Now, with known commodities in the NFL, you know what you're getting. This isn't a projection. I'm going to add this piece to my team, and it's going to get better immediately. That would represent Montez Sweat. So a known commodity, especially at that position, I think in my world, the way I think about football, I think there's value in getting that guy in the draft if you can find him. But there's even more value in trading for that guy because you know exactly what you're bringing into the building the minute he steps foot in there. So that would be the difference, Michael. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I think, you can wait until you go in the draft next year and you can let your team suffer, or you can go out there and get that 1 year mercenary guy these guys are talking about, or you can make that, that piece, get that piece that you're looking for several 3-4 years. You could do that. But just remember, a draft pick is a projection. That's what it is.
But okay, but then we went and got a mercenary, and he was a known commodity in Yannick Ngakoue. Before he got hurt, he wasn't lighting the world on fire.
Yeah, he was getting all the double teams too before Sweat got here.
And then I hear you, but he didn't light the world on fire.
But there's nuance to that, Sean. Now before Sweat got here, he was just eating up double teams. They were taking him out of the game. So I don't give a damn how good you are. If they constantly getting double team, you ain't gonna get to the quarterback that much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has. So I hear what you're saying, and I agree to an extent. But for me, again, I just say I lean toward just letting focus it on next year's draft. All right, letting Walker, Booker. If you can get Ngakoue again, fine, no problem, cool. But man, let these guys develop. Let them work. Let them. Yeah, I'm not big on. I mean, like you said, if you want to go and trade for who's the guy from
Trey Hendrickson, like I'm literally thinking the same thing as you right now.
If you want to go do that, okay, cool. End of story. Defense is set. You know what? Then that means we better get 11 to 12 wins. That means we better get 11 to 12 wins because that defense is going to have to win some games, especially early on as the offense is getting its footing.
See, Sean, you just added some nuance to that whole thing. when you said that, okay, if we're gonna make a move like that, then we need to guarantee ourselves 12 wins, knowing that the defense is probably gonna have to carry us for the better part of the first quarter of the season, right? We at least that up until the trade deadline. Let's go that far. That to me is more of an incentive to go get the right guy, because you know it's going to lean heavily on the defense while this kid is being brought up at the quarterback role. So to me, that's a hell of a way to do that. Is you go get an extra piece that make sure that you can get some of these wins because you've got that defense solidified. So I just want to throw that out there.
You're not wrong, and like Trey Hendrickson or again maybe a Matthew Judon is a very interesting look. I kind of just want to throw this at the chat out there, all you know maniacs out there. Would you trade, if you were Ryan Poles, would you trade a second rounder? I'm being very specific with the pick. He has one, and he's been known to throw these things around. Would you trade a second round pick for either Matthew Judon or Trey Hendrickson? And I'll throw that at you guys here first. Chat, give me a yay or a nay, Y or N in the chat. Let me know what you guys feel.
Kids,
no
run
matter what
me again. One more time. I was reading the
Would
chat.
you trade a number 2 pick next year, 2025?
No, second round pick. A second round pick.
Second round, my bad. Second round pick, 2025, for either Matthew Judon or Trey Hendrickson.
That's easy money to me.
Hell yeah.
I'll let you guys respond.
Henderson, yeah. Judon, I'm not sure because he's what, 33, 34.
Doesn't
Not
matter.
quite that old. I think he's only 31, but keep going.
Here's my thing. Hell, you couldn't even finish that sentence. That trade is made. You know why? Because that trade is made. And you know what? And if I see another dude that I want in the draft, I'm gonna go get another defensive end next year because I can package this next year's second round pick. You know what I mean? Or next year's fourth or third with, you know what I mean? You will switch first so I can get this guy, and then I'll give you some more draft capital next year because that defense is set. That defense is literally set. Tariq Stevenson, sophomore. Jalen Johnson, contract. Gordon, Brisker, 2 years left. Okay. The free safety, under contract. Linebackers, under contract. Sweat, under contract. Billings, under contract. Dexter, under contract. I'm going to go get me a defense. You know what I mean? These guys are set. You're literally set.
You're not paying your quarterback big, huge ass money.
Yeah.
You're paying him 40 mil. You got to
over 4 years.
You got about 4 years before
right.
that contract becomes a reality, and you got time to pay some guys if you wanted to. So you get Trey Henderson, somebody like that, in here on a 3-year deal. While you got an upsurging team like this, that could pay dividends, man.
So I'm gonna throw one little question mark in that whole comment. So
do
I'm
it, Keds.
So I think the Trey Hendrickson situation is something that I would also do, but like, do you think can they afford to do that? You think they can afford to actually a big
before we sign him, before Caleb's contract, before his 4 years is out? Hell yeah, they can afford to do it. Hell yeah. That's it.
Well,
you don't have that quarterback.
Are you sure they can do that? Because again, we're coming. Hold on a minute. We're coming up on Tevin Jenkins needing to be re-signed. There's some guys we got to re-sign over the course of the next year and a bit. I'm not sure if there's really cap for this. I'm just not sure there's cap for this. And I definitely know that if they draft a rookie, that's a non-factor. It's a non-issue. So I think that's where you kind of have to delineate. Is there money for it or isn't there? Has he planned money for this?
But don't forget how much the cap is going up next year, dude. I mean, you know what I mean? We're worried about this year. Okay, it might be a little tight this year, but that cap's jumping up next year.
Yeah,
that cap is jumping up. So that contract that got you a little tight, it just opened up.
You know what's funny about this? Because the roles have reversed. Sean is usually the tight ass on the show. And now he's and now Kids is the tight ass. He don't want to go, man. You give up that damn second round pick or you getting fired, Jack.
Because you're right. I usually am, bro. But you look at the defense, the way the defense, dude. These guys are all signed. They're all signed. They're all signed. Booker signed for 4 years. I don't know what DeMarcus Walker, if this is last year or not, but who cares? Even if he's gone in 25, it doesn't matter. You guys, Booker's in his second year. So we got defenses signed. Everybody's signed for the next 2 years. All right. So, and if you can add, come on, man. And then all this does for me is this gives a lot more time for this offense to develop. Because listen, if you're giving me a 40-yard field, a 50-yard field, a lot of times I only got to go 50 yards to score, and I got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, DeAndre Swift. Yeah, I'm sitting pretty. I'm sitting pretty. But again, that's what I would do. But
Michael Copeland is bringing it up now. He's going to bring some practicality to the conversation, and he's right. He's right. We got to speak to this because he's saying, Michael Copeland, thank you for the comment. Brisker, Gordon, Jenkins all have contracts coming. True. Very, very, very true. So I'll just shut up and let you guys speak to that.
And it's a fair way to look at it because honestly, I think with those guys coming up, there's going to be some negotiation. There's also, as we've sort of been talking, Nate Davis sort of coming off the books. I was chopping it up with Foster Covers earlier today from BCP. Shout out BCP and Foster. And Foster was saying that that Nate signed to a 3-year deal. I always thought it was a 2-year, but it's a 3-year. So there you go. So the big chunk of his deal is happening now, right? So if he plays great, even greater. If he doesn't play well, makes virtually no difference. There's only $2 million left on his contract for next season. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Money on the books goes basically to Tevin Jenkins, and it's all the more reason for Ryan Poles not to sign a deal with Tevin Jenkins right now. Wait it out, see how he plays, give the kid the contract and the money he deserves next season. But I just don't see them having big money.
Why not do that now, though, Keds? Why not do that now? Because now you're set. Okay, and then you can, and I don't even mind if we're up against the cap this year, because I disagree with Nomad. I don't think we're winning the Super Bowl. I don't. I mean, obviously things can happen. You still got Philadelphia. You still got Frisco. All right. We still got Green Bay. We got the teams in our division. Okay. So this year I'm not looking at a Super Bowl. I'm looking at playoffs. Hell yeah. But if you want to, you can extend him. And because of his injury history, you may not have to give him all the money. He may get on the free market. Now, if he wants to sign it, that's another story. If he doesn't want to sign it, that's another story. All right. But you're going to get a lot of money next year with the cap going up, which is why you want to sign DJ now, which is why you want to sign Tevin now. All right, get those guys, get everything slotted. So what you do is you plan it out already. Everything's slotted in. Okay, well next year I got to pay him, and you know where everything's going to be at. Your finances are going to be all on the table as the cap goes up.
So
look at Shorty. Look at Shorty.
I'm with you, Shorty. I'm like, normally you're ever the optimist, and I'm not. I'm quite the opposite. But this season got me feeling a little bit different. I'm seeing the glass half full now and stuff. You know what I mean? So let's go Super Bowl. As far as Tevin Jenkins is concerned, here's the worry. Because of the realities of Tevin Jenkins, you kind of have to offer him a lowball offer.
Yes.
And that's like,
and
I think that might be
front load it.
Yeah, I don't.
Front load it because next year, if you got to, you know what I mean. Next year, you have more money as the cap goes up. So that's what I'm saying. Get up, even if you're up against the cap this year. Cool, you front load them, and as the years go on, the salary goes up, and the salary cap goes up, and their contract goes down.
First thing Tevin's going to do, he's booking a flight right now to Canada to slap the shit out of kids, and then when he gets done,
I'm trying to make
coming down to Orleans, and he's looking for money.
And you're trust me, he gonna come down here. We'll have poutine and friggin' pancakes. Trust me, I'm trying to make the kid more money. Sean is actually coming from the Poles angle, which makes sense. You want to get him signed up front now and get it out of the way. The fact is, because Tevin's been hurt for as long as he has, he's not going to really like the contract that's going to be offered is likely just, and it's going to be similar to what Nomad said on Sunday. It's likely to be an incentive laden, front loaded contract. And that's not potentially good for Tevin Jenkins. If Tevin Jenkins plays his season out, isn't injured, that's really all he has to do, because we all know he's basically a Pro Bowl caliber guard. I think he has the ability to do that within him. End of the day, if he's able to be on the field, he's going to get a hell of a bigger contract, and that's the requirement. Well, so I'm selling for Kevin, or for Tevin. Sorry, that's what I'm doing.
Well, let me put that back out on the table to give Sean a little bit more perspective, because what I said Sunday was I can see them putting that deal on the table that had balloon clauses in it.
Bingo! I was just about to say that.
Hey, go ahead and speak to it. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
I was just about to say that incentive laden contracts, you don't account against the cap because they're not guaranteed. Like he's not guaranteed to hit those incentives. So you can say, hey, listen, and I hope Ryan Poles, and he seems like the kind of guy who's straight up. Seems like it. Be like, look, your injury history is this. I love you. I want you to stay. You're a freaking monster. Okay, except for taking guys in the third row, just leave them on the sideline. You're not gonna take them into the stands before the whistle blows. All right, that's the only issue I got with you, kid, and your health. So how about this? You stay healthy, you get paid. Because I know what you're gonna do if you're healthy. I ain't got to worry about that. We all know what you're gonna do when you're healthy. That's never ever been in question. So you stay healthy. Guess what? You get all this money. It protects you. It protects us. We'll give you. I love it. Incentive laden contracts. Give them more, because they all got workout bonuses. You stay here, you work out, you get an extra $500,000. You do this again. Tevin, you play 75% of the snaps. Boom, another $500,000. Tev, you get honorable mention. You get third team all pro. This second team all pro. This first team all pro. This Pro Bowl. You get this incentive laden contracts, and you can just make boom, boom, boom. He can make so much money staying healthy. From here on out, every year will be incentive laden, and you guys stay healthy.
Brian, you got to let the boys push you around. So I'm gonna knock these two guys out of the way and let you speak.
No, man, stop, dude.
So I thought it was, fellas, man. Y'all might not give this that much credence, but I thought it was important to note this: that Caleb, when he came to meet the Bears in person and went to the meal, who did they set him up to go see first? Tevin Jenkins. That has to mean something, Brian. I mean, I don't know how you see something like that, but I believe the fact that Poles made sure Tevin was in that room and the first to make contact with him, I thought that was a tell to me. I think that's them telling Tevin, look, we want you here and we expect you to lead this room. And I think you can't really gloss over that. I think he's going to be the leader in that room. How much money he gets in the contract, what they offer him is a whole other conversation. But I thought that was a tell. The fact that Tevin was in that room in his first acquaintances, Caleb's first acquaintances with the team.
He's the older statesman on the offensive line for the Bears. Now, granted, Bates is older, Davis is older, but as far as on the Bears, so yeah, I'm sure he's probably respected, and with his attitude, that's exactly what you want on the old line. And he strikes me as somebody that's going to give it to you straight. If Poles was trying to fish for any kind of weakness in Caleb or whatever, hey, find it out this dinner. Okay, let's see what Tevin had to say. There you go.
So see what Michael put up again?
Yeah, let me bring it back to Michael Copeland before we move on, right?
Kick it off.
So this is it, right? So
you gotta read it. You gotta read it. We got audio people.
All right, Michael Copeland, big respects to you, brother. Why would an agent advise his client to sign a contract like that, incentive laden, in brackets, if another team says, we believe in you and your health, here's your contract, like the rest of the league? Because that's what's gonna. This is exactly where my mind is, right? So Ryan Poles presents an incentive-laden contract to Tevin Jenkins this season. Tevin Jenkins' agent's going to look at this and go, we can get all of this and more if we wait a year. Do we want to sign this now or not? As in more money, less incentive requirement, more guaranteed money. Not to mention the team will also have $12 million off the books by way of Nate Davis's contract. So they're going to have available cap for you regardless. Do we really want to do this now? Question mark. That's where my headspace is for Tevin Jenkins. I'm trying to get Tevin Jenkins paid, y'all, and he gets paid big time. If he plays this season, if he plays 14 or 15 games this season, yo, his contract's astronomical next year. Where's the wood at?
Before you go, man, Michael Copeland has been putting some very good statements in here, man. I don't know how long you've been watching, Michael, but thank you for your input today, man.
Darn straight, Michael.
Dynamic, man. Go ahead, Sean. You want to speak to that?
Yeah. So the thing about that is this: that you're going to put it on him. And like, okay, so where do you want to be? All right, where do you want to be? All right, do you want to go to another place and get your money, guaranteed money, or you know what I mean? Because are you happy here in Chicago building what they're building?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's going to come down to Tevin. It's going to come down to Tevin saying, okay, and why would an agent wouldn't tell him to sign that? Okay, Michael, you're right. An agent would be like, no, let's go wait and get some money. An agent wouldn't say that, or he's not doing his job. But Tevin can say, hey, I like what I'm doing here. So it's going to literally come down to Tevin, because let's remember, the agent works for the player, not the other way around. Okay, the agent can say, I recommend this, and this. Doesn't matter. What the player says, I want this, and he has to acquiesce. That's his job. So does Tevin love Chicago? Does he find a home? Does he enjoy the camaraderie and all this? Again, he could say, hey, just like you said, Kez, he could say, you know what, to his agent, maybe you're right. Maybe I'll just play this year out, you know, and I'd like to get him paid too, but I also, by the same token, like, first of all, you ain't going to be in the wick line anytime soon. All right, so I ain't worried about, get him as much money as you can. Yeah, I want to get much money, but I also want the Bears to do well too as a team.
Mm-hmm.
You follow me? I want the Bears to do well. So I'm not necessarily pro organization. I want pro player, but I also want my Bears to do well. And I think he's one of the best guys that we have. He might be the best. He's definitely the most intimidating and the most physical and violent offensive lineman. I just got goosebumps saying that. I like that.
Right, moving in there.
Michael, listen, Michael's right again, man. Michael, I'm tired of you being right, dude. But welcome to the family. You've been on point today.
No, he's wrong. He has had a major injury. His back. What do you mean that's not a major injury?
Listen.
A back for an offensive lineman?
I think no. How many games? How many games do you guys think? Just ballpark this shit, man. How many games do you think Tevin Jenkins has missed in his career? Just ballpark.
16 or 20.
Almost an entire season. So I'd say 16.
This whole season.
I think it's 17 games is my guess.
Okay.
Yeah, about 20 games in 4 years.
Right. Now we're getting ready to talk post back surgery, right? Or whatever he had going on. I don't know if he had surgery. I can't remember. But post that back injury, I think he's only missed a handful of games.
He missed like 4 or 5 this year.
I'm like, no.
Back injury. I'm talking about the back injury.
This past season, 23, he missed about 4 or 5 games this year.
So if you remember last season,
back since the injury, right?
No. So last season, he came back in training camp, and I think like week 3 of training camp, blew out both his knees and was out for the first 4 or 5 games of 2023.
No, it was the knee or his calf? It was his calf.
It might have been the calf. Like, I might be wrong on the location of the injury, but it was both legs, right? So both legs had a major injury, and he was out for 4 or 5 games, which meant Larry Borom was starting. And I'll be frank, I thought Larry Borom did a great job during that period of time. But once Tevin came back, it was like, oh yeah, I just didn't know what I was missing in Tevin Jenkins. He's actually just a monster out there. So yeah, he's missed a fair amount. Those injuries are like,
but King said,
I'm not going to discount them.
Here it is. Adding concussions and all that shit into
I got it right here. I just checked it out. In 3 NFL seasons, right? He only missed 6 games due to the back injury, but he missed 4 more in 22. That's 10. And last year he missed 5 games. So that's 15 games. So just about a season.
I'm off by 2 games.
I mean, for somebody that's had a back injury like the one that he's had, and the way they describe it,
he's averaging 5 games a year.
He's still, because he missed some games off of a concussion, a game or 2. So you gotta snatch 2 games out of there at least. And so you're talking about he's played a relatively large amount of football, man. Really.
Oh, yeah, we're not denying it, but that's a third of the season. And what third of the season is it going to be? What are you going to miss the last half of the season when we're in the? You know what I mean?
Look at what King has said. He had those calf strains too.
That's
so like the back injury hasn't cost him a whole hell of a lot.
But other things have.
But that's regular shit in football, Sean.
I hear you, bro. But this is what GMs are going to use against him in negotiating. Like, dude, you've missed 5 games a year. That's a third of the season. That's about 17 is a little less than a third, obviously, but you know what I'm saying. Like you're missing almost a third of the season. Yeah, in all 3 years.
We're taxing the shit out of Tevin Jenkins, but I don't know how fair it is, though, man. Really?
No, it's super fair, bro. There's only so much scrutiny that you can put across against a player, right? Jalen Johnson, it was, you don't get interceptions. What do you have to do? You have to go out there and get interceptions. In this scenario, unfortunately for Tevin Jenkins, he's missed a quarter of the season for each of the seasons he's played, like basically 5 games a year.
A third.
He's out, right? Like a third of the season. He's out 5 games a year. If I'm a GM and I'm putting a contract in front of you, that's for sure number one on the so we love you, bro. You're amazing. But ... injury, right? Like this is what's happening. So we don't know. We expect you to miss 5 games a season because that's what the track record has said. Here's what we're going to offer you, and it's basically based on you playing, you not being injured. And the answer to Tevin Jenkins is, if I'm not going to be injured, I get a much bigger contract.
And here's Michael needling the shit out of you, kids.
Here,
missed 7 games.
No, he didn't. He missed 4 games in 22 and 5 games in 23. And hey, I'm not a math major. I'm not Sheldon Cooper, but 4 + 5 don't equal 7.
All right, man. I think, man, you go to the corner store, man. Those little quarter 25-cent juices, man, you used to buy when you were a kid, Sean.
Bazinga.
Tevin Jenkins come in there. You got to make him pay a whole $1, I guess, man. Hell, man, we ain't got to be taxing that.
We're not being fair. Like, listen, man, we're being super fair, Sean. Like, I can back you up. You can back me up. We're being super fair here, right? Like, at the end of the day, we want Tev to play. Like, we want him to destroy people. We want him to crush people out there for the Bears, not for anybody else. So, that's really the facts of the matter. I'm not trying to be unreasonable here.
Last thing, kids. Last thing, fellas. Last thing we'll ask about this. Has he been healthy more than he's been hurt? Honest answer.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, so don't give me no yes or no. Don't be cheap.
But let's be honest. Okay. No, unequivocally. He missed 15 games. He's had 3 seasons. He's been healthy more than. But answer me, riddle me this, Batman. When he came back off the neck injury, when he came back off the strained calf, is he at 100%?
When he
came off his back injury, was he at 100%? Sure, possibly, but there's a game or two you got to get amped up. You don't just come off an injury, a serious injury like that.
We don't know if he was 100%.
Bro, stop it.
I don't.
Stop it. So any guy who came off a big injury while you were playing, he came back right to the level. He came back Adrian Peterson style. Chances are no. It took him a game or 2 to get acclimated because of the just self-preservation. Can my back hold up? You're getting forced by 300-pound guys all the time. You're getting punched in the chest. You got to bend. You got to all this. Yeah, I have to give him so. And again, I love Tevin. I want him. If the Bears give him all kinds of money, great. But they ain't gonna give him all that money. And again, he put it this way. I want him here, period. End of story. So no one can say, well, you don't want him here. Yes, I do. All right. It's just his injury history. Because what if he misses another 5 games? Because we need him at the end of the season. We need him for the last 8 games of the year. Those are the games. We got San Francisco. We got the Green Bay twice. We got our division twice. Those are the games we need him. Are those the games you're going to miss?
So real quick, just because T3P podcast just came back from his trip to Timbuktu and didn't know that Caleb Williams just signed for $39 million, 4-year deal, $25 million guaranteed. This is for you, my guy. So yeah, we got him signed up already, and that's done.
Don't sleep on Rome Odunze either. There,
yes, and I was going there next, right here. And Rome also got signed. He signed another 4-year deal, $22.7 million guaranteed rookie deal with a 5th-year option. He got $13 million in his pocket, so he's walking around right now with $13 million in his front pocket. Just want everybody to know that he's got that money in his pocket right now. But that being said, man, hey man,
on his way back home from sure. Jeez Louise, man.
And
be careful, Rome. Be careful, Rome.
While we're at it, booyah! We got stuff on the website, man. If you believe, like I believe, and always have believed my whole life, that Chicago has a style of football, and what we know that football to be is rough, physical, dominating. Straight up abusive to other teams when we play football. That's what this shirt represents. Football Chicago style, established in 1920. That is out on the merchant at the on the website, and we've got all kinds of different colors. Orange there. We got this one that my man Naj went and grabbed the other day. I think this is the one, Naj. Am I right? Or the green one? I think it was the khaki color one. But yeah, either way, man, you can go to the website. The website is the-nomad-network.com, and you can get all that stuff on there. It's much more merchandise on there than this t-shirt you see right here, but this is absolutely my favorite design. It's my own personal design, and I absolutely, if you guys can jump together and help me, I don't care if you have to reach out to Kelly Eberflus on damn LinkedIn. Find a way to get this information to Kelly Eberflus or somebody in the Eberflus family, because Flus talks about this all the time. We play Chicago style football, and this shirt represents that. So get it now while it's on sale, because if this thing starts moving, the price will start moving too. So it's only $25 right now. So go ahead and grab that if you guys would like to. So that being said, guys, what a good show, man. I had a good time today. Man, this stuff is we just gonna have so many fun conversations in regards to all this stuff, because we still got a few days until they actually start hitting, doing all the stuff that really counts in football. And so it's going to be many more conversations to be had. But today was great, man. It was a good show. We got Caleb signed, we got Rome signed, and everybody's ready to go and start playing some damn football. But we got to get ready to close the show. We've been here for 2 hours almost. So I'm going to pass it over to my man, Country Santa, to close out the deal.
Very good show. I kind of shut up because you guys was I'll just say entertaining. But anyway, No Maniacs Sports Zoners, thank you for sharing your time with us. Always great to see you guys. Don't forget, stop by tomorrow morning, Sports Zone Chicago, to see the Superback, his smiling face. Hopefully he'll get fired up. I have confidence in it, because like what Sean says, what Madden said, the NFL is better when the Bears better. Well, the Superback, he's better when he's fired up. So anyway, give that a look. See, you guys have a safe, blessed weekend, and look forward to see you soon. Take it away, Superback.
Sports owners and Maniacs Unite. Tune in tomorrow. Although tomorrow my show will probably be on at 12. I have a appointment that I cannot move tomorrow actually it's at 9 o'clock. So I can't move it. So I'll be on tomorrow at noon. All right. Sorry, June. It'll be noon tomorrow. So I'll be on at noon tomorrow. So make sure you follow Sports Zone Chicago's. Follow us on it. Follow our YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's gonna be good. I have Glenn Morgan's gonna be on from NBC Sports Chicago, where we're talking Bears. And I'm waiting to hear from Darnell Mayberry, who covers the Bulls for The Athletic. So great. It's gonna be a great show tomorrow. I'm fired up about it already. It's gonna be dope, man. It's gonna be dope. So make sure you check it out. It will be there, and I appreciate the love and support. Head over to my man.
Hold on before you go.
In the building.
I got to remember this, because KQ is letting me know that he's a he. Damn it! Now don't be calling me no she. That's my fault, because I did that. That's all me, man. My dog, man. My fault, man. I apologize to you, my guy. I'm trying to remember that. Go ahead, kids.
I'm just saying that is all you. I knew he was a he, and I was going to correct you, but I figured it would mess with the whole flow of the show. So thank you, KQ, for correcting Nomad, and now he's done it in front of the whole show, anyways, and it's not my fault. Anyhow, I'll give you guys some love out there. KQ, starting with KQ. What it do, KQ? Thanks for coming through. Jay Grizz, Squeegee's with us today. Don Bird popping threes out there. Don Bird playing basketball, challenging the world. You know what? As much as I hate having Lions fans in my chat, Don Bird, you're awesome. You're a good one, man. You're a good one to have. No love to you, but one of these days maybe we gotta hit up the court and see what's what. You know what I'm saying? Might be a little bit out of shape and arthritic in my old age, but there was a time when I was a guy. Anyhow, Levante Rogers, what it do? Michael Copeland, thanks for all your Sean. Thanks thanks for hollering at us today, Michael, giving us a little bit of extra love. Always in for the conversation. Ron Winarski's with us today. What it do, Ron? Dr. Earl, King Book of World with us today. Mike Palkovitz. Yo, I didn't butcher that. I pronounced that right. Mr. Scrody. I had to say it wrong for a reason. I got you, Shorty. I got you. I'll get you later, too. Jason, what it do? T3P Podcast. Scottish Bears out there with us. Left hand, Cornelius Squalls. We had a packed house today. Smitty Q. Jeez. Who am I missing? Am I missing anyone? I think I got everyone. Oh, I didn't holler at our guy Plank. What a do, Plank. Always good to have you. I know you're probably going to watch this on replay later. Dante Purify, Sing Dealey. What a do, Dante. And Sophisticated Thoughts. You're always in the chat. I never get to you. Give you a little bit of love. 2 more heads before we call it. We'll make it 3. Dobbsy. What a do, Dobbsy. Juku off the dub. What it do, sir? And James Hunter. What's up, James? Hey, man.
Jason
awesome
Haas.
all you guys
Jason Haas has always been there. Always.
Who?
Jason Haas.
Jason Haas. I must have missed it.
There's Jason in there. That's Jason Haas, I believe.
Okay, yeah. Well, definitely Jason. Yeah, I gave Jason a little bit of love. He deserves it. James Hunter, too. Anyhow, man, it was a blast chopping it up with you guys today. Superback, you were fired up. You got me fired up. I think we had an awesome conversation today. Honest to God, we had a great conversation today. Hey, man, throw a little bit of love to myself. Shameless plug for the Superflex Fantasy Football Show and Podcast. Follow us very soon or holler at me at Keds the Canuck on Twitter in the DMs. We'll give you guys some details as to how this is all going to shake out very shortly. You may also notice there is a Superflex t-shirt on the-nomad-network.com. Members of the Pay League will be getting a t-shirt across the board, and that's the t-shirt you're going to find right there on one more time, the-nomad-network.com. So keep in tuned, stay tuned, and we'll give you more. Nomad?
Hey, man, I appreciate everybody on the panel, all my guys, man, and everybody in the chat today. Everybody that got mentioned, I hope you made sure you mentioned Junior and Patty. Always there.
Oh, man, Junior and Patty, I missed them both. I feel terrible. Love you guys both. You guys are on everything.
Get him, Queen P. Slap his ass around now. He playing with you.
Yeah, I deserve it. I deserve it.
But yeah,
Junior.
Man, please, man. Hey, good stuff today, man. Don't forget, man. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel, man. If you like this content, show us some love. Make sure you do both these 2 things, both here at the Nomad Network and on Sports Zone Chicago. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. Both of those 2 things are free. And guess what else is free? The damn notification bell. Why? It's because we're going to be probably putting out some more impromptu content. You're probably going to see more Nomad at Nights really soon and some more Nomad Lives. Why? Because it's go time now. It's go time, and it's going to be news. It's going to break all these time. That's all right, Don. I got something for your ass, though, man.
I had to do that one. I'm sorry.
All right, take it down. I got to get ready to close the show. But all that being said, it was a great show, man. the storylines are going to get crazy, man. Who knows what we're going to do at edge rusher at this point? You know, I think that's the piece that's the domino that everybody's waiting for to fall. And I think, you know, obviously we're going to go into the beginning of this camp. It's still time to make the signing if they want to do it pre-camp, because it's only rookies in the building. They can absolutely do that in the next few days before the vets get there on the 19th. And so there's still time to do that pre-training camp. You know, most people think it's going to happen a couple, 2-3 days, 4 days after they put the pads on. That's what most people predict. They're going to see what they have in pads, and then they're going to make the move, whether they do or don't. It's going to be determined on what they look like in pads. So we're going to find out what all that's about. But before we go, got to give another shout out to all the people who, survived that storm last night. It was pretty bad over here in the Chicago area and over in Northwest Indiana. So hopefully everybody has learned from that, and, you know, and not being that stubborn person and not listening to the warnings, man. You get those warnings on your phone, freaking listen to them, man. Freaking listen to them. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be safe, but you just never know. You could be in that percentile, that 1 percentile of people that get taken out, man, by not paying close attention to those warnings, man. So take heed to the warnings, listen to the experts when they tell you need to duck and run for cover, because I do see this as a reality in our very near future. Weather patterns are changing. I think weather patterns are getting a lot worse than we're normally used to seeing them. And so I don't care what you think about whether you think this is a flat earth or not. One thing I bet you better start paying attention to is these scientists trying to tell you that stuff is getting worse. And when they give you warnings, take heed to those warnings and take all the precaution you can. So with that being said, I got to say thank you one more time for coming to the show. And I got to leave you with these famous words, because I do believe this in my heart. Because if you can think it and you can see it, you can for damn sure manifest it, and it's all up to you. That being said, we are out.